Welcome back, Saiyans, to another deck profile here with Chris from TCG, the Saiyan Elites, and I'm bringing you guys a very oldie, but still a goodie, with Clashku, aka Son Goku from Set 1, Clash of Fates. If you guys like this deck profile, make sure you guys like and subscribe, hit that bell to get all the notifications, to know whenever we are posting new content, as well as just to help support the channel. We're on our way to Super Saiyan 300 subs. Thank you guys for all the support, and I'm going to continue to put out content for you guys. Mainly, one, I enjoy doing it, and two, I love being able to support this game in any way that I possibly can. So, going into it, what this leader does, it is a burst 2 leader. So when this card swings, you burst 2, and if you pitch a green card from your hand, you can draw 2. So you're a draw 2 leader. It's pretty good. At 4 life, you can awaken and you restand 2 energy, and this is where this leader becomes extremely strong. Now, if you have Sparking 5 and you have a Krillin in the drop area, this card gains 5k in double strike. So your leader becomes a 20k double strike just from having a Krillin in the drop area. Very, very, very strong. My idea with this leader was trying to make a very strong hand destruction deck that also can pressure without having this just sit back and just use a bunch of spells. So I came up with this idea of it, and I think it works really well. You guys let me know what you guys think. So the big thing that we want to focus on early is trying to put cards in the drop area that makes sense with this leader. So we can choose one card in our hand to draw 2. So what are cards that give us value from the drop area? Well, 2 of those, we're going to run 2 Master Roshi, Kamehameha Origin. Card's really good. If your leader's a green and you send this card from your drop to your warp, you can add one green extra card from your drop to your hand. So basically, once we pitch this card has value in the drop area. We basically pay 1 green, and we basically get a extra card back. Very, very good. Next 4 here, Hasty Dispatch Dispo. This card, I bought this card for 50 cents each on TCG Player like a month ago, and this card is now $10 as a rare from Dropbox 5. Insane. I knew some of these rares were going to go up. That's why I basically bought every rare. I bought a full playset of every rare. I think some of them are going to go up kind of like this. What this card does, if you have no battle cards in your battle area, you can warp this card from your drop, choose 1 battle card with an energy cost of 1 from your drop, play with the skills, and get it for the turn. That's very, very good. There's one card in particular in this deck that works really, really well with this. The other, 2 targets are not amazing, but it still allows us to put out value on the field. So whether we want to make a 5k combo or anything else like that, we can still do that. So those 6 cards are kind of our main targets of this. Some other small cards that we run: 3 Newfound Power Gohan. This is for Self Awakening. You take a life. This card gains 10k in crit. We also run, shout out to Phoenix Odyssey. He made a very awesome deck with what card was it? I think it was the super what is it? The Gohan, the reboot Gohan leader. He made a deck listing with this. Rising Phoenix Odyssey. He makes a lot of Dragon Ball videos. Awesome guy. I got the idea from them. I never even knew this card existed until I watched one of his videos. So what this card is, it's a 1 drop. When you play it, you get you draw a card. So it's great, and it replaces itself. For 2, activate main. This card gains 15k in crit for the duration of the turn. This card becomes a pressure machine off of 2 energy. We can play this card out with Dispo, get it back on the field. Next turn, tap 2, swing for 20 crit. They have to do something about it. And for it being a 1 drop, very, 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 very strong. So we run 2 of those, and then we run 2 of the Krillin calling for help to the expansion. I think there maybe was a different version of this card. What this card is, it's a green. When you play it, you basically draw 1, which is great. And if your leader is a green Son Goku, when you are on your awakened side, this card gains a 3 energy cost and becomes blocker, which is great. So we actually can, whenever we awaken, this card becomes a 4 drop and gains blocker. Has some effectiveness, has 2 different variations of value in this deck, which we'll go over a little bit later. So you're probably wondering what variation of this deck I'm running. We are running green yellow. I think it's the most sufficient version of this deck. Slightly less hand control, but I think it gives me enough hand control where I can apply pressure at the same time, and I'm not sacrificing my board 4 spells like old Piccolo used to. So we run 4 of those. 4 of the super combo. Whoop. 4 of the super combo for Dr. Euro. This allows us to put cards in our drop area if we don't already have them, like Krillin. And that's really the only target. Once we're awakened, we can kind of fish out the Master Roshis and the other dispos to put them in the drop area. That way we're not drawing them. But mainly we're using it for arrival. So what are our arrival targets? Well, everyone kind of knows about this card, the Super Saiyan Broly. Play it out for 2. You can KO a battle card with a higher energy cost than their opponents. So you're playing against a lot of black decks with the Overrealm, baby decks, or just other arrival decks. You can basically just KO a lot of their big cards, or you can play it, tap one of your opponent's energy, and draw one. That has a lot of effectiveness in this deck. I do run 1 topo over top of this to use as a successor. We only run 1. I was running 1 artificial impact in the deck, which I generally run one of those type of cards in every deck, but this made more sense. It was a 2-drop that gives me a 25k body with barrier, and I can pop a barrier card when I enter the field and when I leave the field, so has a lot of value there. The other arrival target that we run is the Krillin and Android 18 power couple from Dropbox 4. I love this card. I really like this card. I don't know why, but basically when you play this card, you get 2 choices. One, you can pick opponent's battle card in rest mode and negate its skills. That one's okay, but basically we can play this card and our opponent pitches a card from their hand instantly. So if you have multiple of these in your hand at once, you basically just play them all out. You play 2, you get 2 20k bodies on the field, and your opponent pitches 2 cards. That's value. It's really good. Oh yeah, and by the way, this is a 4-drop Krillin, so this card also counts. So if you want to put this card in the drop area, once this card hits the drop area, it then gains the effect for your Goku leader. 2 Vegeta the Cruels for some counterplay potential. Don't run too many of these. It's the only counterplay we run in the deck. It's green, and that's really it. Yeah, you can pop a 4 or less and then make your opponent warp a card, so it gives us a little more hand control. The only extra card that we run in the deck, Cell Earth Destroying Kamehameha. Very strong. All your energy is green. For 1, card gains 15k power, as well as you get to rip a card from your opponent's hand. We run 4 of them, plus 2 Roshis, making it 6 total per Earth Destroying Kamehamehas. How awesome is that? Even if we burst it early, it's like, okay, that's fine. We can just, once we put Master Roshi in the drop area, we can just pull 1 back. Easy peasies. So we run 4 of those. The only negate that we run in the deck, but I don't think I would have it really any other way, is for Cocoonsas. I thought about adding some Shocking Death Balls. I also, and this may eventually go in the deck once I do some more playtesting, is the Pretty Black Holes. I think this card's really good. You basically can KO any card on the field, any one of your cards, and negate its skills, draw 1, and then you choose any cards that are equal to or less than the value of that card. So let's say we have a Broly on board. We basically can pop Broly, draw a card, and then we can kill any card that's under 6 energy. Now the one thing I don't know is if it is if it kills tokens, because tokens don't have a specific energy cost. It just says anything that's under this you can kill. So because tokens are under 6 energy cost, you can probably KO all of them. And I wonder how that would work with the Boonie, but that's a story for a whole other day. So I would run 3 of these, but I'm not running them in the deck, in the main board right now. So just the Cocoonsas. I think this card does enough on its own. It is a negate that also KOs a card, any card, basically not enduring barrier. It's a 2-drop. This is the green version of Topo, in a sense. Better version of Topo, in my opinion. So we have 3 of these, or 4 of these. That's basically all the negates we run. No Shocking Death Ball or anything else like that. I felt like it really wasn't needed too much in the main deck, but we'll see going forward. I am going to end up playing this deck probably at the next tournament that we play, just to kind of test it. 1 Zerloin, Maiden Supporter. If you watch any of my green decks, you will see this card in almost every one of my green decks. Play out a 4 or less from your hand. A green, you can KO it to negate all of your opponent's battle card swings for the turn, or whenever it dies, this card, you get to play out a 4 or less from your drop area with its skills negated for the turn. Now, the big combo piece that I have with this is I run 1 Anilaza combo killer. That's kind of it. Obviously I can play out the cocoon, so I can play out the 4-drop krillin. I can play out any of the 1-drops. I can do any of that kind of stuff. But the main reason is I want to play this out. Now, I only run one of them. This isn't a really big win con. It's just something in the deck that I can do. And if I do this, I can generally end up winning within a turn. So it plays out this for free. It's a 20k double strike barrier. Once per turn, whenever your opponent combos, they choose one card in their hand and place it in the drop area. So they have to pitch a card anytime that they combo. Pretty strong. It's only once per turn. I only run one of them in the deck, but if I find Zerloin, and let's say this is in the drop area, when this dies, I'll just pull this back out. Or if I have this already in my hand, and I have this in my hand, I'll play this and then play this out. So eventually I'm going to get it on board. It just kind of depends on when. I can also play out Cocoonsa and play out Cocoonsa and then pop something. But this combo works pretty fun. And it's really funny too, because I don't think a lot of people know even what combo Killer Anilasa does anymore. So really good card. So one of the reasons why we run so many Krillin targets, we run 6 Krillin targets that are all 4-drops. We run 2 Final Showdown Gokus, the old Goku card. 25k double strike. This card comes out for free if a Krillin on your field is KO'd by your opponent. Now, obviously, negging does not count, so that kind of sucks. But if they pop it, you get to play this card out for free. And when they do that, when you play this card, you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and KO it. We have a lot of cards on the board that can remove barrier. I have some more in my hand that I'm going to show you guys, but that, this really just helps kind of set the precedent. If they basically, they're trying to remove your whole board of Krillins, you just play this, pop something, and now, it's back to you as being in control. We do want to run one of the 6-drops, which is kind of a second option or third option game ender. Evolves for 1 on top of a 5-drop. 25k double strike. When you attack with this card, you combo with 3 green battle cards from your drop area. So you can combo with literally anything. You can also combo with Dr. Uro, and now you have a rival. So it works out really, really well. So we run a combination of 3 of those cards. 2 of the Thick Queen rebrand. Play it, KO every battle card in the field, ignoring barrier. And then because your leader is green when this card's in rest mode, your opponent can only attack this card, which is going to be really nice when Unison cards come out, because your opponent cannot attack Unison cards. They have to attack this. Pretty good. When this card dies, you can bring out a 4-drop as well, so I can bring out the Anilaza and stick it on the board and help them do some more hand control that way. Just another very, very good game ender. And we have 3 Super 17s, 9-drops. This card is a beast. The last 3 times I've played this deck, I have gone into this every time almost on the dot turn 3. I use the 1-drop Krillin, and will play out I'll play out a few cards, and I'll self-awaken. I'll once I awaken, he becomes a 4-drop. I have 2 4-drops and a 1-drop on board. There's 9. Works very, very well. When this card is played, your opponent has to crit themselves down to 4 life. No questions asked. When they have to crit themselves down to 4 life. So if they're at 8, they go down to 4. And every time this card swings, you draw a card, and your opponent you get to tap 2 of your opponent's cards and switch in the rest mode. This is gonna be really nice because you can tap leaders, you can tap battle cards, you can tap energy. This means you can tap Unison cards, even though I don't know why you would want to tap Unison cards. Maybe there's a skill later on where you can lock Unison cards. Who knows? But it's a 30k crit that does a ton of stuff for you. Does a lot of work and just a very, very strong card. And then the last card is Smoke Dragon. My ideal secret rare in this deck would be Xenocell. I'm trying to actually buy my own Xenocell right now. I'm trying to sell some of my draft box 4 cards to get it. But this is a card that we are going to be running in it right now. Definitely think Xenocell is a better option because we run a lot of monsters. Very, very easy to get to 12. But this card's no slouch either. Comes out for 5 if you have 12 cards in the drop area. When you play it, you get 3 effects. You either warp all of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier. You either make them mill 7, then you draw 2. Or you warp 4 cards from their hand. Almost a game ender, specifically against this leader. Once I put this on the board, 9 times out of 10, if they don't have a board, I'm just warping cards from their hand, and then I'm swinging with this giant 20k double strike that's going to have a ton of combo power on top of it to basically end the game. So, works out pretty well. That is my Goku deck. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of this deck idea. If you guys want us to start a Patreon so you guys can basically, create content for the channel, whether that's, deck profiles, battles, educational videos, discussions, card breakdowns, deck breakdowns, leader breakdowns, any of that kind of stuff, let me know down in the comments. I will take that into consideration. And I'll see you guys in the next video.